The conference room hummed with a carefully orchestrated tension. Delegates from Earth's major powers sat around the polished mahogany table, their faces etched with a mixture of hope and suspicion. Years of global conflict had finally led to this point, the signing of a comprehensive peace treaty designed to end decades of strife. Jack Harris, a seasoned diplomat with a steely gaze and a reputation for unwavering resolve, stood at the head of the table. His voice, though calm, carried the weight of countless negotiations. "Gentlemen, we are on the precipice of a new era," Jack announced, his eyes scanning the room. "This treaty represents a commitment to mutual respect, cooperation, and, above all, peace." Mr. Volkov, the Russian delegate, a man known for his skepticism, raised a hand. "Mr. Harris, with all due respect, assurances are not enough. How can we be certain that this treaty will be honored? Past agreements have been broken with alarming regularity." Jack met Volkov's gaze unflinchingly. "Trust is earned, Mr. Volkov. This treaty includes provisions for mutual inspections, open communication channels, and a joint peacekeeping force. Transparency will be our guiding principle." A murmur of agreement rippled through the room. Jack could see the reluctance in their eyes, but also a glimmer of hope. They were buying it, at least for now. He exhaled, feeling the immense weight of responsibility lift slightly from his shoulders. This was his arena, his battlefield. He had spent years navigating the treacherous waters of international politics, always striving for a world where his past tragedies would never be repeated. The ghost of his wife and child, lost to a senseless act of war, lingered in the back of his mind. Their memory fueled his determination, reminding him why he fought so hard for peace. He had vowed to create a world where no one would suffer the same loss he had endured. As the final signatures were penned on the treaty, Jack's communicator buzzed. He glanced at the message: urgent new assignment, immediate briefing. Excusing himself from the celebratory atmosphere, he headed towards the communication room, a knot of apprehension tightening in his stomach. Admiral Carson's face appeared on the holographic screen. The Admiral's expression was grave, devoid of his usual warmth. "Jack, congratulations on the treaty," Carson began, his tone clipped. "We have a new mission for you. It's classified, top priority." Jack raised an eyebrow, a sense of foreboding washing over him. "Admiral, with all due respect, I've just spent the last 6 months negotiating this treaty. Surely someone else can handle." "Not this one, Jack," Carson interrupted. "This requires your specific skill set. You are to meet the first alien ambassador, Lily, on the neutral space station Vidian Prime. First contact is imminent, and we need your expertise to ensure a smooth transition." Jack's heart skipped a beat. First contact? With an alien race? This was unprecedented, a moment that would redefine humanity's place in the universe. "Understood, Admiral," he replied, his voice betraying none of the excitement and trepidation he felt. "I'll prepare for immediate departure." The shuttle ride to Vidian Prime was uneventful, providing Jack with ample time to reflect on the gravity of the mission. As the space station came into view, a sprawling metropolis of gleaming metal and pulsating lights, his apprehension grew. Vidian Prime was a marvel of engineering, a testament to human ingenuity and collaboration. It represented a beacon of hope for a united future, a future he was now tasked with shaping. The docking procedures were swift and efficient. Stepping onto the platform, Jack was immediately immersed in a bustling scene of interspecies activity. Aliens of various shapes, sizes, and colors moved about, their forms and features a kaleidoscope of diversity. The air hummed with an almost tangible energy, a sense of anticipation and excitement that mirrored his own. Navigating through the station, Jack couldn't help but marvel at the advanced technology on display. Holodisplays provided information in multiple languages, drones zipped by carrying supplies, and gravity-defying walkways connected different sections of the station seamlessly. It was a testament to what humanity could achieve, and they set aside their differences and worked together. As he approached the central atrium, a hush fell over the crowd. Jack turned, his gaze drawn to the figure standing at the far end of the hall. It was her, Lily. She stood out amidst the throng, her presence almost ethereal. Her skin shimmered with a faint luminescence, and her eyes, a deep shade of violet, seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. Jack's breath caught in his throat. Lily moved with a grace that defied earthly physics, each step deliberate and fluid. She radiated an aura of serenity and wisdom, a sense of profound understanding that captivated everyone in her presence. Jack found himself rooted to the spot, mesmerized by her otherworldly beauty. As she approached, the room seemed to hold its breath. "Ambassador Harris," she greeted, her voice melodic yet firm. "I am Lily." Jack extended his hand, a gesture of peace and goodwill. As their palms met, a jolt of energy shot through him, unlike anything he had ever experienced. It wasn't painful, but it was intense, as if their very beings were resonating on a frequency beyond human comprehension. He saw Lily's eyes widen in shock, mirroring his own confusion. "What was that?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Lily frowned, her brow furrowed in concentration. "I am not certain. Such a thing has never happened before." The initial ceremony had begun smoothly enough. Dignitaries and scientists from both worlds observed with a mixture of anticipation and skepticism. Lily and Jack stood before a grand audience, their handshake meant to symbolize the beginning of a new era of cooperation and understanding. But as their hands clasped, the strange sensation enveloped them once more. The air around them seemed to vibrate, and a sudden surge of light surrounded Lily. Jack instinctively pulled his hand back, but it was too late. Lily doubled over, a cry of shock escaping her lips. Scientists rushed forward, their faces masks of disbelief and concern. Jack reached out to steady her, his own heart racing. "What's happening?" he demanded, his voice edged with panic. Lily looked up, her eyes now glowing with an intensity that was almost painful to behold. I think I'm pregnant," she gasped. The room erupted into chaos. The ceremony was abruptly halted, and Jack and Lily were ushered into a secure area. Jack's mind raced, trying to process the impossible. How could a simple handshake lead to this? It defied all logic and reason. The next few hours were a blur of medical examinations and genetic analyses. A joint team of human and alien scientists worked tirelessly, their faces etched with both awe and concern. Lily and Jack were kept in close proximity, their every move monitored in the sterile confines of the medical bay. Jack watched as Lily was scanned and probed by an array of advanced equipment. Her expression was one of stoic endurance, but he could see the fear lurking beneath the surface. He couldn't imagine what she must be going through, carrying the weight of an impossible pregnancy and the expectations of her entire world. Dr. Shaw, one of Earth's leading geneticists, approached Jack, his face pale and his voice trembling with excitement. "Jack, we've never seen anything like this," he stammered. "Your DNA and Lily's are uniquely compatible. The quantum resonance, it's unprecedented." Jack rubbed his temples, the weight of the situation pressing down on him. "What does this mean, Doctor? For Lily? For us?" Dr. Shaw sighed, running a hand through his thinning hair. "It means that her pregnancy is not only viable, but potentially revolutionary. This could change everything we know about genetics and reproduction. It could unlock secrets that have eluded us for centuries." Jack glanced at Lily, who was speaking quietly with one of her own scientists. Their eyes met, and in that moment, Jack felt a connection that defied logic and understanding. This wasn't just about science or politics anymore. It was deeply personal, a bond forged in the crucible of an impossible situation. The door to the medical bay opened, and Admiral Carson entered, his expression grim. "Jack, Lily," he said, his voice devoid of any warmth. "We need to discuss the implications of this. The political landscape is about to shift dramatically. We need to be prepared for anything." Jack and Lily exchanged a look, a silent understanding passing between them. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. They had no choice. Their lives, and perhaps the fate of two worlds, were now inextricably linked. The accidental pregnancy had made them both parents and symbols of hope. "We'll increase security immediately, Ambassador," the officer stated, his expression hardening. "This station will be locked down until we can guarantee your safety." Lily and I exchanged a weary glance. We were safe for now, but the attack was a stark reminder of the forces arrayed against us. The incident sent shockwaves through the station and beyond. News outlets amplified the story, turning it into a spectacle of fear and speculation. Conservative factions on both Earth and Lily's home planet, Valoria, seized the opportunity to spread their propaganda, painting our union as a dangerous anomaly. The Valorians, in particular, were incensed. Councilman Voren, a powerful and influential figure, emerged as the leading voice of opposition. He argued that Lily had betrayed her people by engaging in an unnatural relationship with a human, and that her pregnancy threatened the purity of Valorian genetics. Voren's rhetoric was inflammatory, and it resonated with a segment of the Valorian population who feared losing their identity in the face of increasing interspecies contact. On Earth, similar sentiments were brewing. Certain political groups warned against the dangers of alien contamination, claiming that Lily's child could pose a threat to humanity. They called for stricter immigration policies and a complete halt to all contact with Valoria. Amidst this escalating tension, Agent Marcus, a seasoned operative from Earth's intelligence agency, arrived on Vidian Prime. Marcus was a no-nonsense professional, his eyes sharp and his demeanor reserved. He had been tasked with investigating the attack and uncovering the forces behind it. He approached me in the station's observation deck, his voice low and serious. "Ambassador Harris," he began, "I need to ask you some questions about the incident. I understand that you and Ambassador Lily have been the target of some controversy." I nodded, bracing myself for the inevitable interrogation. "Agent Marcus, I assure you that my relationship with Lily is based on mutual respect and understanding. We are not a threat to anyone." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "That may be, Ambassador, but there are those who believe otherwise. My job is to determine who attacked you and why. I need your full cooperation." I spent hours answering Marcus's questions, recounting the events leading up to the attack and detailing the growing animosity from both Valorian and Earth factions. Marcus listened intently, his expression unreadable. When I was finished, he thanked me curtly and departed, leaving me with a sense of unease. I knew that Marcus was just doing his job, but I couldn't shake the feeling that he suspected me of something. Meanwhile, Lily was facing her own challenges. The Valorian Council demanded that she return home immediately to answer for her actions. Lily refused, insisting that she would not abandon her responsibilities on Vidian Prime. She argued that her pregnancy was not a scandal but an opportunity to bridge the gap between our two species. "I will not be swayed by prejudice and fear," she declared in a televised address. "My child will be a symbol of hope, a testament to the potential for unity between Valoria and Earth." Lily's words were met with mixed reactions. Some Valorians rallied to her defense, praising her courage and vision. Others remained skeptical, questioning her motives and accusing her of betraying her people. The debate raged on, dividing Valoria and threatening to destabilize its government. As the political storm intensified, Lily and I found solace in each other's company. We spent hours talking, sharing our fears and hopes for the future. We knew that we were facing an uphill battle, but we were determined to fight for our love and for the future of our child. One evening, as we sat in my quarters, Lily revealed something that shook me to my core. "Jack," she began hesitantly, "there is something you need to know about Valorian pregnancies. They are not always natural." I frowned, confused. "What do you mean?" Lily sighed. "Valorian females possess the ability to manipulate their own genetics, to accelerate or alter the development of their offspring. It is a closely guarded secret, known only to a select few. My mind raced. Are you saying that you can control the outcome of your pregnancy? Lily nodded. To some extent, yes. I can influence the child's traits, its abilities, its destiny. I was stunned. The implications were staggering. If Lily could control her pregnancy, then our child could possess extraordinary powers. The thought was both exciting and terrifying. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Lily looked at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Because I trust you, Jack. And because I believe that our child deserves the best possible chance in life. I want you to help me decide what kind of future we should create for her. I was deeply moved by Lily's trust. She was entrusting me with a power that could shape the future of our child and perhaps even the future of our two species. It was a responsibility that I did not take lightly. I will help you in any way I can, I said, my voice filled with determination. But we must be careful. This knowledge could be dangerous in the wrong hands. Lily nodded. I know. That is why we must keep it a secret. We cannot allow anyone to exploit our child for their own gain. From that moment on, Lily and I worked together in secret, researching Valerian genetics and exploring the possibilities of her pregnancy. We consulted with trusted scientists and healers, seeking their guidance and advice. We were careful to avoid attracting attention, knowing that any hint of our activities could be used against us. As Lily's pregnancy progressed, she began to experience strange and unsettling symptoms. She had vivid dreams, visions of the future, and moments of intense physical energy. At first, we dismissed these symptoms as side effects of her unique condition, but as they grew more frequent and intense, we realized that something else was at play. One night, Lily woke up screaming, her body convulsing with pain. I rushed to her side, desperately trying to comfort her. As I held her in my arms, I saw a strange glow emanating from her abdomen. Jack, she gasped, her voice weak, I think our child is trying to communicate with us. I stared at her in disbelief. Could it be possible? Could our unborn child possess the ability to communicate telepathically? It seemed impossible, yet I couldn't deny the evidence before my eyes. Lily closed her eyes, focusing her mind. After a moment, she opened them again, her expression filled with wonder and fear. She says there is danger, she whispered. A great darkness is coming. We must be prepared. Her words sent a chill down my spine. The conspiracy was deepening, and our child was now warning us of a threat that loomed over the horizon. We were no longer just fighting for our love and our future. We were fighting to protect our child from a darkness that threatened to consume us all. The seeds of doubt had been sown, and the conspiracy was taking root. The battle for our lives, and for the future of our species, had only just begun. Increased security measures were enacted immediately. Vidian Prime went on high alert. The attack had exposed a deep security flaw and a level of hostility that was deeply troubling. While Lily recovered, the investigation intensified, spearheaded by Agent Marcus. He started digging deeper, his suspicion now focused on a broader conspiracy. One morning, I was summoned to Marcus's office. The room was sparsely furnished, with only a desk, a few chairs, and a holographic display showing various security feeds. Marcus gestured for me to sit. Ambassador Harris, he began, his voice devoid of pleasantries, we've made some progress in the investigation. The attackers were mercenaries, hired guns. They were well equipped and highly trained, but they were also disposable. I frowned. Disposable? What do you mean? They were meant to be caught or killed, Marcus explained. Their purpose was to create chaos and send a message, not necessarily to succeed in abducting Ambassador Lily. A message to whom? I asked, my mind racing. That's what we're trying to determine, Marcus replied. But we have a lead. One of the mercenaries was carrying a datapad with encrypted files. We've managed to decrypt some of them. He activated the holographic display, showing a series of images and text. These files indicate a network of individuals and organizations who oppose the alliance between Earth and Valoria. They believe that interspecies contact is a threat to their respective cultures and genetic purity. Who are these people? I demanded, my voice rising. We're still identifying them, Marcus said. But some names keep recurring. One name, in particular, stands out, Eris. Eris? I repeated, the name unfamiliar. Eris is a shadowy figure, Marcus explained. We don't know their true identity or their motives, but they seem to be at the center of this conspiracy. They have the resources and the influence to orchestrate attacks, spread propaganda, and manipulate events on both Earth and Valoria. My heart sank. It was worse than I had imagined. We weren't just dealing with a few disgruntled extremists, we were facing a well-organized and powerful conspiracy, led by someone named Eris. What can we do? I asked, feeling a sense of desperation. We need to find Eris and expose their operation, Marcus said. But that won't be easy. They're skilled at hiding their tracks and manipulating others. We need to be careful. As Marcus continued the investigation, Lily and I decided to take matters into our own hands. We knew that we couldn't rely solely on Earth's or Valoria's security forces. We needed to find allies, people we could trust, who could help us uncover the truth. I reached out to Chief Miller, the head of security on Vidian Prime. Miller was a seasoned veteran, a no-nonsense professional who had earned my respect. I explained the situation to him, emphasizing the danger posed by Eris and the need for discretion. Miller listened intently, his expression growing grimmer with each passing moment. Ambassador Harris, he said when I was finished, I'm honored that you trust me with this information. I'll do everything in my power to help you. Together, we formed a small, covert team, composed of trusted security officers, scientists, and diplomats. We began to investigate the leads provided by Marcus, searching for any clues that could lead us to Eris. Meanwhile, Lily was experiencing new and unsettling changes. Her pregnancy was progressing at an accelerated rate, and she was developing abilities that defied explanation. She could sense danger before it happened, communicate telepathically, and even manipulate objects with her mind. It's the baby, Lily explained, her voice filled with wonder and apprehension. She's changing me, giving me new powers. I was both amazed and concerned. While these abilities could be useful in our fight against Eris, they also made Lily a target. If the conspirators learned about her powers, they would stop at nothing to capture her and exploit her abilities. One evening, as Lily and I were working in my quarters, we received a coded message from an anonymous source. The message contained information about a secret meeting between Eris and several key members of the conspiracy, scheduled to take place on a remote moon orbiting Valoria. This is our chance, I said, my heart pounding with excitement. We can catch Eris and expose their operation. It's a trap, Lily warned, her eyes filled with concern. Eris knows we're coming. They're luring us into a trap. I hesitated. Lily was right. It was too easy. But we couldn't afford to ignore the message. If we wanted to stop Eris, we had to take the risk. We'll be careful, I said, my voice filled with determination. We'll bring our team and be prepared for anything. We gathered our team, led by Chief Miller, and set off for the moon. As we approached the rendezvous point, we detected a faint energy signature. It was a cloaked ship, hidden from view. They're here, Miller said, his voice tense. Prepare for battle. We landed our ship and disembarked, weapons drawn. As we approached the meeting point, we were ambushed. The conspirators emerged from the shadows, firing their weapons. A fierce firefight erupted. Our team fought bravely, but we were outnumbered and outgunned. Several of our team members were wounded, and we were forced to retreat. As we fell back, I saw Eris emerge from the shadows. They were wearing a mask, concealing their face. They raised their hand, and a powerful energy blast struck Lily, knocking her to the ground. "Lily!" I shouted, rushing to her side. Eris laughed, their voice distorted by a modulator. "You can't stop us," they said. "We will destroy the alliance between Earth and Valoria, and we will eliminate anyone who stands in our way." I glared at Eris, my heart filled with rage. "You'll pay for this," I snarled. Eris simply laughed again and disappeared into the shadows. We managed to escape, carrying Lily with us. We returned to Vidian Prime, where Lily was immediately taken to the medical bay. The doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize her, but her condition was critical. The energy blast had damaged her internal organs, and her pregnancy was in jeopardy. I sat by her bedside, holding her hand, praying for her recovery. I felt a sense of overwhelming guilt. I had led her into a trap, and now she was paying the price. As I sat there, I received a message from Agent Marcus. He had uncovered new evidence, revealing Eris's true identity. "Eris is Councilman Voran," Marcus said, his voice filled with shock. "He's been manipulating events from the shadows, using his influence to undermine the alliance and promote his own agenda." Councilman Voran. The leader of the opposition on Valoria. The man who had condemned Lily and called for her exile. He was the mastermind behind the conspiracy. My blood ran cold. Voran was not just a political opponent, he was a dangerous extremist, willing to do anything to achieve his goals. And now, he had Lily in his sights. I knew that we had to stop him, before he could do any more damage. But how could we fight someone who held so much power? How could we protect Lily and our unborn child from such a formidable enemy? The shadows of conspiracy were closing in, and the battle for our lives was about to reach its climax. The failed abduction attempt sent ripples of fear and outrage through the Vidian Prime station. Security was further tightened, but a sense of unease lingered. The attack underscored the desperation of the conspirators and their willingness to resort to violence. For Lily and me, it was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the dangers we faced. In the aftermath, the political climate grew even more volatile. Councilman Voran, now unmasked as the leader of the conspiracy, used his influence to spread lies and incite hatred. He accused Earth of orchestrating the attack to destabilize Valoria and seize control of its resources. His propaganda fueled anti-Earth sentiments, pushing the two planets closer to the brink of war. On Earth, similar sentiments were brewing. General Valerius, a hardline military leader from Valoria, seized on the incident to justify a preemptive strike against Earth. He argued that Earth was a threat to Valoria's security and that war was the only way to protect their way of life. Secretary Ellis, Earth's Secretary of Defense, struggled to maintain peace amidst the rising tensions. She understood the dangers of war and the devastating consequences it would have for both planets. But she also knew that she had to protect Earth's interests and defend its citizens from any potential threat. The situation was a powder keg, and any spark could ignite a full-scale conflict. Lily and I knew that we had to do something to prevent war, but we were running out of time. One evening, as we sat in my quarters, we received a visit from Agent Marcus. He looked grim, his face etched with exhaustion. "Ambassador Harris," he began, "I have some bad news. Councilman Voran has convinced the Valerian Council to authorize a military buildup on the border with Earth. They're preparing for war." My heart sank. This was the moment we had been dreading. "What about Earth?" I asked. "How is Secretary Ellis responding?" "She's trying to de-escalate the situation," Marcus said. "But General Valerius is pushing for a military response. He wants to show Valoria that Earth won't be intimidated." Lily and I exchanged a look of despair. "We have to stop this," Lily said, her voice filled with urgency. "We can't let them destroy everything we've worked so hard to build." "But what can we do?" I asked. Voron has too much power. He's manipulating everyone. Marcus paused, his expression thoughtful. There is one thing, he said. I've uncovered evidence that Voron has been involved in illegal arms trading. He's been selling weapons to both sides, profiting from the conflict he's trying to create. Can we expose him? Lily asked. It won't be easy, Marcus said. Voron has powerful allies who will protect him. But if we can get the evidence to the right people, we might be able to turn the tide. We decided to take the risk. Marcus provided us with the evidence, and we contacted a trusted journalist on Earth, Sarah Jenkins, who had been covering the conflict. Sarah was known for her integrity and her commitment to the truth. We knew that she would do everything in her power to expose Voron. Sarah received the evidence and immediately began investigating. She worked tirelessly, verifying the information and gathering additional evidence. After several days of intense work, she was ready to publish her story. The story was a bombshell. It revealed Voron's illegal arms trading, his manipulation of the Valerian Council, and his role in the conspiracy to undermine the alliance between Earth and Valoria. The story sent shockwaves through both planets, turning public opinion against Voron. The Valerian Council was forced to launch an investigation into Voron's activities. He was stripped of his power and placed under house arrest. General Valerius was also investigated, and his calls for war were met with widespread condemnation. The immediate threat of war had been averted, but the situation remained precarious. Voron's allies were still active, and they were determined to undermine the peace process. One night, Lily and I were attacked in our quarters. The attackers were Voron's henchmen, seeking revenge for his downfall. They were heavily armed and well-trained, and they quickly overwhelmed our security detail. We fought bravely, but we were outnumbered. Lily used her powers to defend us, telekinetically throwing objects and creating energy shields. But the attackers were relentless, and they eventually broke through our defenses. As they closed in, I saw one of the attackers raise his weapon, aiming at Lily. I jumped in front of her, shielding her from the blast. The shot hit me in the chest, sending me crashing to the ground. Lily screamed, rushing to my side. "Jack!" she cried, her voice filled with despair. The attackers turned their attention to Lily, but before they could harm her, Chief Miller and his security team arrived, driving them off. I lay on the ground, bleeding and in pain. Lily cradled me in her arms, tears streaming down her face. "Don't worry," I said, my voice weak. "I'll be okay." "No," Lily sobbed. "You can't die. I need you." I smiled weakly. "I'm not going anywhere," I said. "We still have a child to raise." I was rushed to the medical bay, where doctors worked frantically to save my life. Lily stayed by my side, holding my hand, praying for my recovery. The next few hours were a blur of pain and uncertainty. I drifted in and out of consciousness, seeing flashes of Lily's face and hearing her voice. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, I woke up. I was in a hospital bed, hooked up to various machines. Lily was sitting beside me, her face pale but relieved. "Jack," she said, her voice trembling. "You're awake. What happened?" I asked. "You were shot," she said. "But you're going to be okay. The doctors saved you." I smiled. "I told you I wasn't going anywhere." Lily leaned down and kissed me. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for saving me." I reached up and stroked her hair. "I'll always protect you," I said. "And our child." As I recovered, the investigation into Voron's conspiracy continued. His allies were arrested, and his entire operation was dismantled. The threat of war receded, and the peace process resumed. But the experience had changed us. We knew that there would always be those who opposed our union, who sought to divide us. But we were determined to fight for our love, for our child, and for a future of peace and understanding between Earth and Valoria. The brink of war had been averted, but the battle for peace was far from over. The shadows of conspiracy still loomed, waiting for an opportunity to strike again. The attack on our quarters served as the ultimate catalyst. It became undeniably clear that Voron and his followers would stop at nothing to achieve their goals. The incident galvanized those who were still undecided, forcing them to choose a side. The outpouring of support for Lily and me was overwhelming, and the tide began to turn against the conspirators. I insisted on increasing Lily's security, but she was adamant that we not allow fear to dictate our actions. She argued that we had to continue to push for peace and understanding, to show the world that our union was a symbol of hope, not division. We decided to hold a joint press conference, inviting representatives from both Earth and Valoria. We wanted to speak directly to the people, to share our story and our vision for the future. As we stood before the assembled media, Lily took my hand, her violet eyes shining with determination. "We are here today to speak to you about love, about hope, and about the future," she began, her voice clear and strong. "We know that there are those who seek to divide us, who try to spread fear and hatred. But we will not let them succeed." I stepped forward, my voice filled with emotion. "Lily and I come from different worlds, with different cultures and different beliefs. But we share a common goal, to build a better future for our children. We believe that by working together, we can overcome any obstacle and create a world of peace and understanding." We spoke about our love for each other, about our hopes for our child, and about our commitment to building a stronger alliance between Earth and Valoria. Our words resonated with the audience, and we could see the skepticism and doubt fading from their faces. After the press conference, we received a message from Secretary Ellis. She had been deeply moved by our words and wanted to meet with us in person. We met with Secretary Ellis in her private office. She was warm and empathetic, and she listened intently as we shared our concerns. "I understand the challenges you're facing," she said, her voice filled with compassion. "And I want you to know that you have my full support. I will do everything in my power to help you achieve your goals." Secretary Ellis pledged to work with the Valerian Council to ensure that Voron and his allies were brought to justice. She also promised to increase efforts to promote cultural exchange and understanding between Earth and Valoria. With the support of Secretary Ellis and the growing public sentiment, we were finally able to turn the tide against the conspirators. Voron and his allies were arrested and charged with treason. Their network was dismantled, and their influence was neutralized. As the political storm subsided, Lily's pregnancy progressed smoothly. Her powers continued to grow, and she became increasingly connected to our unborn child. One night, Lily went into labor. The pain was intense, but she remained strong and determined. I stayed by her side, holding her hand, offering her words of encouragement. After hours of labor, our child was born. She was a beautiful baby girl, with violet eyes and a radiant glow. We named her Hope, in honor of our vision for the future. As I held Hope in my arms, I felt an overwhelming sense of love and gratitude. She was a symbol of our love, a symbol of unity, and a symbol of hope for a new era. In the months that followed, Lily and I worked tirelessly to build bridges between Earth and Valoria. We promoted cultural exchange programs, educational initiatives, and joint scientific research projects. We traveled to both planets, speaking to audiences, sharing our story, and inspiring others to embrace diversity and understanding. Our efforts paid off. The alliance between Earth and Valoria grew stronger, and the two planets began to work together on a variety of global challenges. The world became a more peaceful and prosperous place, thanks to our efforts. Years passed, and Hope grew into a remarkable young woman. She inherited Lily's powers and her compassion, and she became a powerful advocate for peace and justice. One day, Hope addressed the United Nations, speaking about her parents' legacy and her vision for the future. "My parents came from different worlds," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "But they shared a common dream, to create a world where all people are treated with respect and dignity. I believe that we can achieve this dream if we work together, if we embrace our differences, and if we never give up hope. Hope's words inspired the world, and a new era of peace and understanding dawned. The legacy of Lily and Jack Harris lived on, in the hearts and minds of all those who believed in a better future. The accidental pregnancy had brought two worlds together, and from that union, a new dawn had risen.